What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to talk about the first Avengers movie because I personally feel that it's kind of got buried in its own universe. With how many movies there are in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the first Avengers movie has kind of gone under the radar over the past couple years, mainly with a lot of people that were younger in those days being, older now and maybe paying attention a little bit more. I don't know. A lot of the Phase 1 movies seem to be forgotten, and then when you really start to talk about people that watched them when they came out, a lot of them are their favorites, like the first Thor, the first Iron Man, well, obviously the first Iron Man, but the first Captain America, as well as Hulk, because personally Hulk is one of my favorite MCU movies, The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, and The Avengers is the perfect culmination of all those movies combined. They juggled these characters very perfectly in 2012. I feel like Joss Whedon did an amazing job. If they would just let him do Justice League from the beginning or something and not replaced him with... They replaced Zack Snyder with the exact opposite of what Snyder was trying to do, and they put Whedon in there, fucked up Justice League. And Whedon's a good director, man. You could see it with Avengers. This movie is amazing. I just rewatched it probably for the 8th time or something recently, and I just figured I'd make a quick video just saying how good this movie is. And if you haven't watched it in a while, give it a rewatch. Kind of compare it to Infinity War and Endgame, because I feel like those movies have kind of overshadowed it a little bit. Again, a lot of Phase 1 movies seem to be a little bit overshadowed now, which makes sense. Times go on. But there was a time where people were just asking for a team-up movie, and we got a team-up movie, and now people are getting very greedy, and they want to see so many things represented, and there's a lot of characters that, well, mainly, the only character I really have a problem with is Captain Marvel, and I don't have a problem with her because she's a chick, and I like Brie Larson. I always have. I watched her in The League. She was really funny in that. But yeah, Captain Marvel as a character, I don't like that she just came out of nowhere and she's the fucking strongest ever. And you could clearly tell it was appealing to an agenda of some sort. I mean, I feel like the movie had heart. It was funny. I liked it. I thought the movie was actually pretty good. But at the end of the day, it's like, I didn't get the feel from that as I did from wanting to see Avengers. It's like people didn't really want to see that, but there's always that group of people that have influence. So I don't know, man. It just feels like a lot of the later MCU movies don't have the magic that some of the earlier ones did, and that's why I don't rewatch a lot of newer Marvel movies, because they're not as good as some of the earlier ones. I still watch Hulk, still watch Avengers, still watch Captain America, Iron Man, all the fucking early ones. And of course, there's a lot in Phase 2 and 3. I'm not saying I don't watch them. It's just fewer and fewer are, hitting that mark for me. But The Avengers is an amazing movie. The ending is unbelievable. Still, I think the best action set piece as far as New York and the alien invasion. I think that's better than Endgame, because I feel like Endgame, Infinity War and Endgame being filmed back to back helped, them as far as marketing and, releasing it a year apart. And having two huge movies release a year apart from each other was great. But you could tell that it, definitely weighed on the production as far as green screen. And I just think this movie looks incredible. The first Avengers movie looks better than I think a lot of the newer MCU movies. And I think that's just because a lot more practical effects were possibly used. I know Iron Man's suit, I think, was still practical after the first Iron Man in 2008. But other than that, Hulk is the best part of this movie. I love how he matches Edward Norton's in a way. Like, it's a perfect continuation of that one, and then they go in a different direction with Ragnarok. And, of course, Endgame being the culmination of all that was Smart Hulk, which I don't love, but I understand it. Trying new things is cool. Another thing that's kind of underrated in this movie is how Cap is still, fresh out of the ice. He's, still acting like he doesn't know shit. And I love the scene where Thor's like, flying monkeys. I don't understand. I do. I understood that reference. I love that so much, and it just speaks so much to Chris Evans and how he progressively made Cap more with the times as the movies went on. Of course, they had the scene at the beginning with Winter Soldier and them kind of talking about stuff and him having the book that he needs, to read and watch stuff and all types of shit. So, this is before he even made that book, so he's even more of just this old dude in a young body. It's pretty cool. I like Cap in this movie. And probably my favorite scene in this entire movie, well, easily it's the final scene, because there's so much good stuff when they all team up for the first time, the original 6, and then Hulk, I'm always angry. That scene is incredible. But I really think that the Thor versus Iron Man scene is underrated. Nobody really talks about that one. Nobody really looks back on it. I don't see it on Twitter. People post clips of MCU movies all the time. I never see that one being posted. The Shakespeare in the Park, doth mother know you weareth her drapes, shit like that. That's amazing. I love that scene so much. And the final shot of that, where it looks like a comic panel, is just perfection. So at the end of the day, man, I'm just making this video to say, go watch this movie again. If you've never seen it, you gotta watch it. So many amazing scenes, and you don't even need to watch the previous movies or any of the movies just watch Avengers. Like, this is just a great movie. It's fun. It's amazing. I really like the characterization in this movie on its own, even without the sequels and even without knowing, maybe previous history on Thor or not seeing the other movies. You still understand these characters and you understand what's going on, and they do a really good job. So at the end of the day, this is an amazing movie. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. And of course, for those of you that have seen it, which is probably most people, rewatch it. Check it out again if you forgot about it. It's an amazing movie. I think it might be my favorite MCU movie, period. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to look out for the next one. And as always, I'm out. Peace.